ask you, this is a random one, first about Poppy Patterson. Did you coach Poppy when she was at the academy here? Did she come through with you?
She came through the pathway. She, I think, just probably as I was taking over as head coach, she was just coming through the development team and featured a couple of times for the first team. And then after that, she ended up going to Man City. So we had her in the first team for a very short period of time. But yeah, absolutely delighted for her to get that call up into the Lionesses squad. You know, another success story from the North East, making a name for herself. So well done, Poppy.
Right, right. You're going to get some football finally.
Are we?
I say that optimistically.
Hopefully we are. We're chomping at the bit to get back on the pitch. You know, you can train as much as you want, but it doesn't quite replicate a game scenario. We've had some friendlies in-house, which has been beneficial to get up to match speed and get the right kind of physical loading in to the players. So yeah, we're super excited for Friday night under the lights.
Seems slightly ironic you've got a couple of new players in the January window and they might have a game.
Yeah. They can't believe how cold it is and how wet it is in the North East. I was joking, we're married. I was like, come on, Wales must be colder than Sunderland, but apparently not. So yeah, we're super excited to get them on the pitch as well, and for them to represent the club and for the fans to see the new players in action.
When you look at the table, we mentioned this the other week, you know, you're in quite a good position in terms of you've got games in hand which could lift you up the table, but as you said, you'd rather have the points on the board than have to sort of play those games and squeeze them in.
Yeah, I think the good thing is we know exactly what we need to do, so it's there for everyone to see. So you know, we've got 3 games in hand on some teams in the league. That's a lot of points. You know, and the target is to take maximum points in every game that we play. So one game at a time. Obviously, we've got Durham on Friday, and then a 2-week international break. We've got a friendly during that as well, which is important going into probably some rearranged games in March as well.
Good one to get back into though, Durham Derby. It's always a bit of an edge, so that should fire everybody up. Yeah,
you know, we've got a really good record against Durham as well. We've got a good record where we travel to Maiden Castle. You know, it's a different type of pitch. It's artificial. It's probably the smallest pitch in the league as well, and hopefully the fans travel across to Maiden Castle and get behind the team as well. So it's a big game. It's a big game for us because we haven't played, but it's also a big game because it's a derby and we're well aware of what we need to do.
Has it all felt a little bit strange having had no games for so long? I mean, you talk about international breaks, which you sort of become acclimatised to in some respects, but this seems a bit weird because you gear yourselves up and then suddenly...
Yeah, it's just felt slow. It's felt slow to kind of get going and get into a rhythm. So much work goes behind the scenes and into one game, the amount of games that get watched, coded, game plans, unit meetings, overview meetings, and ultimately they all have to be scrapped because them teams are then going to play again in the interim, and then you know, in terms of the staff behind the scenes are working really hard to turn the footage around, which we have to in March as well. So I think we've got 6 games in 28 days or something like that. So, you know, we have to focus on Friday, get through the international break, and then all guns blazing in March.
On the plus side, I assume nobody gets injured in that time.
That is true. Fully fit squad, yeah. Just on that, obviously Mary Corbin, I mentioned last time, she's had ankle surgery, which was a success. Currently in a moon boot, and he'll be out with that in a couple of days as well. So her recovery is well on track. Izzy Atkinson's going to be out for a while with a back injury still. So we need to kind of look after her and make sure we can get her back on the pitch, representing the club as well. But other than that, everyone's fully fit. We've got Demi Lambourne back now following a back injury as well. So other than that, we've got a fully fit squad.
Right.
Mel, you'll have had time to do a lot of tactical sessions without matches, but I suppose fitness is going to be crucial because you might be having to cram quite a lot of fixtures into a compressed period.
Yeah, obviously mentioned the loading side of it. You know, we've obviously got the systems to track what we're doing day to day in terms of physical load, you know, replicating the in-house games to what we need to do on a match and topping up those who maybe haven't hit certain metrics and that. So I think it's just the match sharpness, you know, nothing quite replicates a proper game of football. But, you know, going into a derby, the girls don't need any more motivation or, you know, effort levels to get going on Friday night.
Might there be more pressure from the league to play matches at the Stadium of Light if there's any danger of more postponements?
Yeah, I think we've only got a couple of home games left, to be fair. I think just with the weather that we've had, it's just been really unfortunate. I think across the northeast there's obviously been a lot of games getting called off as well. I think the stadium pitch has had its problems as well with a men's team, which I think everyone can see. So, we just have to make sure that when we do play that we're ready and we're prepared.
I suppose this season of all season, because of structural changes, there's probably more chances to get promoted, so it must have been an extra frustration to sit and watch other teams steal a march while you've been twiddling your thumbs for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you want momentum. You want to play week to week to try and build that consistency and build a rhythm. But on the flip side, that hasn't happened, so we have to deal with it. And like I just said to Nick there, we now know exactly what we need to do with them games in hand in order to be competitive and push up the league.
And mentioning Durham, I mean, how would you sort of gauge how, as clubs, you've both sort of progressed this season?
Yeah, I think they've been hit-y-missy as well. They're probably disappointed with some of their fixtures. Obviously, they travelled to the Valley, which we all watched at the weekend, and Charlton doing Charlton things and winning games of football. So yeah, I think they'll want to get back to Maiden Castle and get back to winning ways as well. So it's gonna be geared up to be a really good game of football.
And do you think the overall standard of WSL2 is sort of going in the right trajectory?
Yeah, I think you've seen the kind of quality that's now been attracted to the league. There's some big signings being made by big clubs for big money, and I think that's kind of the trajectory of where the league's going now.